because hopefully with the speakers on the laptop, everybody can hear you as well as they hear me. At least I hope so.
I hope so too. Somebody may have to tell us.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah, I still haven't watched If Loving You Is Wrong yet, or The Pains. I'll do that tomorrow. Yeah, because I changed it up. That way it's four pictures on the screen so people can look at that. Then I'll just read the live chats out loud. That way it'll be easy. Hopefully it'll be like, okay, since there's not so much on the screen at one time, it won't crash. Oh, we got one person saying they can hear the both of us. That's a good start.
Can you hear me now?
Sure can. Can you hear me?
Trying to figure out. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how I can turn the YouTube volume off because it's echoing for me.
I think you have to
Yeah,
select your speaker option and then it'll allow you to mute it. I think that's how you do it.
on YouTube or Hangouts.
Not on Hangouts, but I do know like if you click on the speaker option of your computer, then it should bring up a list of everything you have open and you can select which ones are mute and which ones give you volume. But if you're on your phone, I wouldn't be able to tell you. Okay, we got
I
Norm.
know, right?
Yeah, we got Norma. She says she can hear us both. Okay, then I know how to do these videos from now on instead of hooking it up to the TV. Okay, so we got about 70 people on right now. And what we're going to do is just have an open discussion about season predictions as well as just a show in general. So I guess you should pick up where we left off because I do believe we got disconnected. Then I wrapped things up. So what are your opening thoughts?
I cannot remember. I think when we got off, we were talking about Amanda,
Yes,
but that wouldn't be really predictions.
yeah, that's right. Oh, well, we got a couple questions here. Okay. Eric says, hey, is it possible that Candace's father is in the mob and is more dangerous than Quincy?
I tend to think that he was. I don't think he was married, but I think there's a possibility that Hannah was raped by him, which may be why she hates or has the animosity toward Candace.
Mm-hmm. And as she said, it's like, I didn't want any baby. I didn't want you. So most likely she got raped. And as a result, she didn't want to have the baby. And I don't think he was a mob boss. I mean, Candace seems, when she was at the bar with him, pretty much to assume that he was married based off the way that he approached her and whatnot and some of his dialogue. So at the time of him and Hannah being together, I don't think he was married, but it wouldn't surprise me now, years later. We're looking at probably 20 years later, if he was married. It wouldn't surprise me if he is now, but he wasn't back then.
Right, right. Yeah, I don't think that it was a married. He's probably married now, but not back then. But do you think now? Because I've always been confused on if Candace or Benny was older. Do you
I,
think now Candace is going to be the older, for sure, the older sibling?
that's what it seems like. I'm not gonna lie. Somebody told me this around season one, season two. It looks like they actually rewrote it that Benny was older, then they switched it to Candace being older. I mean, to my assumption, and again, I don't know the exact ages. I thought that Candace was around or the same age as Amanda back when they were first introduced. And then it seemed like Benny was the older brother, given the fact that he was always looking out for his sister. But now it seems like, oh, I didn't want this baby, so I'm guessing, okay, maybe she was pregnant with Candace first, and then when she turned her life around, because I remember they said that she met Tony in church, and we can assume that she didn't start going to church until she started turning her life around. And another thing, I do believe Candace might be older because I'm just thinking about Benny, how Benny didn't even know that Candace was molested by one of Hannah's men at the time. So I'm guessing that Candace was the oldest and Benny is the youngest one.
I think so now too. Earlier, it was kind of hinted that it was she was like Amanda's age, and then I guess Benny would be like Wyatt's age. I still don't know how old Wyatt is either. And then you got Mitch, who in real life is in his like mid-30s. So does he fit into that age category? I don't know.
Don't
Does
get
it
me
say
started. I
all
don't
the
even know.
parents were the same age? I know, right?
I know the only age we have confirmation of in terms of the adults, if you will, is Jim being 50 at the beginning of the show, and that's pretty much it.
Right, and then that David was a little older than that because he had already turned 50,
Yeah, yeah.
and then April 7th, 1979 episode, it turned out that Catherine was also 50.
Ah, good. Oh,
She was 52.
yep. It looks like they're all around the half-century mark. Oh, Tammy says, I think Candace is like Hannah used to be. Will the dirty laundry be aired? Absolutely. Candace is who Hannah used to be. And that's why I really think that Hannah has this thing against Candace, because it's really a reminder of her past life. And the fact if she did get raped by this guy, it does make sense that she would have some animosity towards her. Not pure hatred, but, you know, just a constant reminder of Candace is a result of a rape, but also she's exactly like I used to be. And also, I think in season 1, when Benny told Hannah about, well, actually, Hannah found out when the cop came by with the warrant that the house was being foreclosed on, and Hannah was like, it would be better she was never born, because when I was in labor with her, she flipped over in my womb and almost killed us both. So back in season 1, you knew that Hannah had some ill will towards her daughter.
Right, and that could result from the father. Maybe the father is a real bad guy, and she, right, like we're thinking, maybe she was raped. But the real question is, was she also a prostitute?
Hannah, that is an interesting question. We do know she used to be like Candace in the sense that she would use her body to get what she wants. I don't know for sure if she was a prostitute. Would it surprise me? No. I mean, I feel like Hannah was living the life Candace is now. However, she most likely didn't do things that Candace did in terms of, you know, politicians and presidential candidates. I feel like Hannah might have been at the street level, but not to the extent. She wasn't playing with the same level of cards that Candace is.
Right. And Hannah is she's getting a little annoying because of this holier than thou attitude. I love her values and that she's proof that obviously someone can turn their life around and have good, you know, solid Christian values, or just even be just a good person. And she wants that for Candace. However, this attitude is just getting old with me. And it looks like this coming week, she may possibly be kind of rude or put off with Derek. And I hope she's not mean to him, because he seems like a really good guy. Like, she seems to push a lot of people or potential dates
away.
Or
yeah.
If not, Benny does.
Don't get me started. Benny went through as many women as he did through cars during the first few seasons. Like, what? You had Darcy from the church, who turned out to be Marcy on If Loving You Was Wrong. You had the nurse in the hospital, who apparently knew Benny from high school. He got her phone number, and then that was the last time we heard of her. Then you had the whole Veronica situation. Erica looked like she would have been a potential love interest, but then it turned out she was, you know, set up by Candace to give the car to Benny. And now it's just like there's this woman that's sitting on Benny's lap. And then you look at, just a couple of these chats real quick. Will we meet Veronica's mother? I hope so. Tammy says, let's see.
Me too.
Yeah. What if Veronica's in a wheelchair during the Jennifer Salson trial? I doubt it, unless there's some kind of major surgery that goes on, because one of the episode synopsis, I think it's around episode 6 or 7, says that Veronica's getting out of the hospital, and then she's going to start plotting against David. And then in the other trailer, we see Veronica standing up in David's house talking with him. And let's see here. What if...
I think the DA had his little powerful moments last week, but Veronica's coming back, and that DA, she's going to shoot him down. I mean, he is, and I know I really didn't like him. He's kind of growing on me a little, but he's just okay. But I think he's not powerful enough to take down Veronica.
No, the reason I liked him somewhat is because he kind of broke the fourth wall, in the sense that he literally is the audience, somebody in the show who's pretty much coming to realize how ridiculous this entire story is. It's like, wait, so you have this family hiding the car, and then Jennifer Salson says crier victim, and then you have this family hating this one, and your mother knows you're gay but wants you to get married to this woman. what's wrong with this? And then I do like the fact that he's self-aware. I do like the fact that he's self-aware in the sense that, look, what's her name? Sarah. She was like, we have enough evidence for an indictment. We should take this to the grand jury. But it's like, no. We need to build a stronger case because at least he's aware of how powerful Veronica is, based off the fact that she literally mowed him down in court. In like 2 minutes, mowed him down. So I'm interested to see what kind of case he's going to build because, like David having his, I guess you could say, confidence about divorce court with Veronica, I'm wondering what George is going to do to build up such a strong enough case that Veronica won't even be able to tackle it. That's my thing. And let's see here. Terry says, will Candace end up pregnant by war? And I even did another video today about the irony of characters who are pregnant in real life. You know, Candace was, Erica is now. They're showing on camera, yet characters who are supposed to be pregnant don't even have so much as a baby bump.
Right. I saw a lot of people thinking that Erica might currently be pregnant, but they film every year in like March and April, and then that season that they film in the spring doesn't air until January. So
yep.
Candace would have been pregnant in real life in the beginning of season 4.
Mm-hmm. They just mowed through those seasons. I mean, it's just crazy, but wow. It's just amazing how fast they film the show, but how slow the pacing is in most episodes.
Right, and if you follow the characters on social media, the real people, you'll see that there's a few of them that have let it be known on social media that they're actually currently in Atlanta now filming.
Oh, yeah, I follow all of them. I need to get on Snapchat, though, but yeah, I agree.
Mostly on Instagram is where I've seen it.
Yeah, same here. I'm on Twitter, but I'm not on Twitter. I'm really on Twitter to tweet during the show, promote my videos, but that's about it. I really go on Instagram. That's what I do. Oh, here are three chats we could just mow down. Number one, what if Veronica visits David's in the season finale? I doubt it. I think that's going to happen around episode 7 or 8. Will Jeffrey and the officer finally get together? Heavens, no. Please, God, no.
No. I could actually see Justin probably being the next person to be killed off.
I agree. I definitely agree. Okay, what if Melissa lied about being pregnant, and what would the Ice Queen do then? I know, scary, right? I don't think that it's a lie.
It's a possibility.
It is, but as I put in the video today, and again, guys, if you haven't checked, I dropped like 10 videos today. That way you'll have yourselves busy until Tuesday night. But that's why the rest of the week, pretty much between now and when the episode airs, it'll just be nothing but live streams. But here's my thing. I did a video about, is Melissa really pregnant? Now, when she was brought to the Sarandon Hotel by Candace and Jeffrey, this was after Amanda's funeral, after Candace got cracked upside the head with the bottle. Remember, she told or made Melissa come to the hotel with pregnancy test. And while she was in the bathroom, Jeffrey was like, does it usually take this long? And Candace is like, come out, girl, you better come out here before I drag you out. And then it said that she was pregnant. So I always had a doubt after that moment. I'm like, again, I'm not an expert. I don't know how this works. But something tells me that if Candace was adamant about her coming out that quickly because she was stalling, then maybe she wasn't pregnant. But then it was, quote unquote, confirmed that she was pregnant at the beginning of season 4. It was after she slit her wrist and then after Quincy Jr. was killed. Remember, the first episodes of that season was everybody in the hospital. You had, David showing up. You had Veronica there. You had Catherine there for Hannah and Quincy Jr. And Jim showed up eventually. And because Wyatt was in there too. And then the doctor came out. Hey, Dominique. Then the doctor came out, and then Veronica was just like, is the baby okay? It's like, the mother's okay. Is the baby okay? Yes, the baby's fine. So in my mind, I thought the doctor pretty much confirmed that she was pregnant, but now it's being thrown into a loop because the doctor in the previous episode was like, how far are you along? I don't know, 8 or 9 weeks. And it's like, didn't he say something along the lines of, that's interesting because you should be showing or something like that. You want me to do a test? No, I'm not worried about it. And then Veronica, when Melissa took her credit card and left the room, and then Veronica got on the phone to say, hey, I want my daughter-in-law institutionalized at least until this baby's born. But then she says, you stupid girl, you don't even know when you're being set up. So I'm just like, what is it then? Is she pregnant or not? I don't know.
Right, she should be showing for sure, but she refused an ultrasound with that doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And she made it very clear she didn't care and she wanted the lady to die. So the doctor just walks off. To me, if I'm a doctor and someone's acting like that, I'm gonna like keep her there and run tests, or maybe call someone, a psychiatrist in or something.
Yeah, and in this day and age, if something happens to the baby months later, they want to be suing you for it. And I'm like, nope, no. Like, I tried to do my job as a doctor, but you wouldn't allow me to do so. And I'm just wondering what the heck is going on, because remember, it's as Melissa told Veronica, you tried to kill me. No, I tried to kill us. So Melissa is pretty much like Catherine in the sense that she doesn't give a damn about anything right now. Except for Catherine has.
Right. I do think that Tyler needs to move the time span along a little more, because if she's 8 or 9 weeks pregnant, that's been going on for 2.5 seasons now, and he needs to stop. My opinion is, at some point, he needs to jump ahead like a year or two, so we can see kind of, and then maybe tell a backstory.
That's funny.
It's like he jumps back. He completely jumps to the next day of each season. And it's like, okay, now the characters are going to start showing their age, and they're going to change their hairstyles, and even Jim looks different this season. He's starting to look a little older, still very handsome, but they're starting to look different.
Oh,
and
yeah.
This whole season is supposed to be, or this whole series is supposed to be in a matter of months.
And
so
you can tell it's been
speed
years.
up the time.
Yeah. And I mean, because I remember one day it was, I think it was around the time season 4 or something aired. I remember they did like the haves and have-nots marathon. I mean, like, they showed every episode. And I was talking to my mom, I'm like, dang, looking back at season 1, because we remember all the details, but when you look at how the characters look then compared to now, I'm like, oh my God. And my mom's like, well, dang, Jeremy, look at how much stress they've been going through. So you understand why some of them look like they have more wrinkles and whatnot. And let's see.
Right. And even the sets. I mean, if you look at how the Cryer Mansion looked in the first season versus how it looked last season, it just looked more realistic last season. So it looks like he's possibly gotten more funding for lighting and settings. And then
it's beautiful.
Catherine's house looks beautiful. Her new house looks gorgeous. And even Hannah's house looks great.
The house that she won't accept, if you want to be accurate. Just ridiculous.
Right. It's ridiculous, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I agree. The camera work, I just love the way they switched it up. It really looks like, I know it's probably the same budget and whatnot, but it looks high performance now. It's just really great quality. I can't even imagine what it looks like in like full HD. But wow. Wendy says, I'm sick to death of Wyatt. They need to do something new with his character.
Where Wendy comes from with that.
Yeah.
But there's other characters that I'm more sick to death of. I think Wyatt has potential.
Me too.
I am sick to death of Justin.
Yeah,
he's just a secondary character.
Dominique says, I hope Justin doesn't hurt Jeffrey, because in the preview of the next episode he has Jeffrey in a chokehold. Here's my guess, but here's the problem too. It's because at the beginning of the season I said, hey, I'm going to do episode preview predictions, but there's really no point of doing that, because the episode previews show a bunch of scenes that aren't in the next episode. They can be like 2 or 3 episodes from now, so there's no point of being repetitive. It's like, hey, remember that scene where Catherine walks in on Jim and this other woman? Yeah, let's talk about that for the next month, and then it won't even happen till March. I don't even want to do that. But here's my guess of what might happen based off the end of the episode preview. I'm talking about when the end credits roll during the last 40 seconds and we get scenes of the next episodes. That's what I go by. Here's my guess of what might happen. I'm thinking that Justin and Jeffrey are going to be in the interrogation room again, and Justin's going to confront Jeffrey about the whole Wyatt situation. He's going to take out Jeffrey's phone. Wyatt's going to call again, and that's when Wyatt's going to be pretending just to get on Justin's nerve, like, hey, Jeffrey, just tell him about the relationship we're in. Come on, tell him we're lovers. And he's just fooling around. I'm guessing that's why Justin ends up putting Jeffrey in like a chokehold or something like that. That's my guess.
Right. This guy is so out of control. And does he ever go home? Does he have to go
Nope.
back to the police station to report?
Re-
I mean, it's
remember,
crazy how much he just runs around all over the place, and he's just obsessed with Jeffrey in a bad way.
remember, he said he hasn't been home since the whole situation with Veronica in the courtroom. Like he hasn't went home, he hasn't talked to his wife, he hasn't done anything like that.
Right, right. There's a couple of things that are far fetched. I don't know how you feel about this, but I think there's too many, especially this season, secondary characters.
I agree. And I'm not
Too many. You can't even keep up. Like Sarah, this new Sarah chick is coming up, and then you've got Justin, and then you've got Charles and Landon. Now Landon's been there for a while. I like Landon.
Yeah, I'm just a bit confused
That was weird.
because Charles knows that Landon is gay. Landon knows that Charles is straight. So what's going on here? I don't.
And did you see how Landon was like taking his time walking out of the room with the tray in his hand? That was so awkward.
Yeah, it's like Charles took his shirt off and was laying on the bed, and he just had that longing look on his face, and you can tell there was disappointment in Landon's eyes because based off the way he was acting, it seemed like he was intentionally trying to get Charles drunk to take advantage of him, but Charles was like, nah, it's not going to work. I've drank guys 3 times my size under the table. You know, I was in the army and whatnot, so it doesn't faze me. And then I think back to the Sarandon Hotel, and then I believe the new hotel's called the Artesian. Landon literally tried to get Jeffrey drunk with all those shots, but Jeffrey wasn't having it. So this, obviously Landon is used to doing things the way he does. And really, it seems like Landon is becoming more of a Maggie Day character, longing for the person she's working with on the campaign trail, and then that's going to end up biting him in the end.
Right. I would agree with that.
Yeah. And let's see. Oh, just real quick to back up. Somebody said, let me get to this question here. Wendy says it might not be Jeffrey's baby. Pretty sure it is. I don't think Melissa's been with anybody else to my knowledge anyway. Let's see what else we have here. Terry says, why is David so dumb? No background check. I think that's very stupid how that was written because David was always like, again, a calm, cool, and collected, calculated character. But to quickly trust somebody, it's one thing to invite somebody to stay with you for a couple of days, but another to move in with you. I'm just like, really? You don't even know her last name?
Right, and in the haves and have-nots world, they've only known each other like a week.
Exactly. It's like you met at the hotel. What that guy she was pretending to break up with at the bar, and then
right, and you know how I hope that she and David don't end up together. So I hope that she does get found out about and he's mad, and I just hope she doesn't take all of his money.
Yeah, I mean, and again, it looks like based off the episode synopsis, Veronica's plotting against David. So my question is, is it a plan she has on her own? Is she enacting a joint effort with Erica and Candace, or who knows? Wow. Let's see here. Right. Let's see what. Chelsea says, wouldn't it be funny if when Justin finally does go home that his mother Pearl is there waiting on him and his wife, all informed about what happened in court? I want that to happen. I actually talk with Pearl on Twitter sometimes, and it's like, look, we're waiting on you to come back. Come on now. We need to see what's going on. Like, how are you going to react to your son being gay, having an affair on his wife? We'll just have to wait and see. I'm not going to lie. When I first saw Sarah, when I first saw Sarah in the episode preview where she's talking with Oscar in the hallway, for a minute there, I thought that was Justin's wife. But then in the episode where we finally got to see her full face clearly, I'm like, oh, wait, they do look similar. It's just that she's younger looking in the face.
Right. And then I know that.
Hello?
This Sarah, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, you just faded out for a brief second there.
Oh, sorry. This Sarah chick coming out of nowhere,
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it was one of Jim's many women from back in the day, and based off the preview, it doesn't look like she's going to meet up with him.
And see, that's what I get annoyed with. I don't want to see more of his women and him, and it's just he's so gross. I don't want to keep seeing more and more of his women where he's gotten something he wanted out of women.
Yeah, and then
You know, I love seeing him beat down and more and more and more. You know.
it's just like when Hannah and Catherine were talking the day of, it was season 3 basically. It was after Amanda got shot, but they didn't find the body yet. They were all getting ready to go down to the campaign office for Jim to announce his run for governor, and it was Catherine and Hannah talking, and they were talking about the night before when Quincy came over, and he's like, he beat his ass in front of everybody, and it's like that certainly did humble him. Jim got a major ego diminish in season 3, into season 2 getting beat up by Quincy, then finding out his daughter was dead. Then of course the big one was being abducted, put in the war room, lost $7.4 million. So he's definitely had a losing streak for a while. The closest thing to a victory was the whole situation with Lloyd at the bank to sabotage Candace when she took out that loan. But then it really wasn't Jim that won that battle when you really think about it. Well, in a way he did. It turned out that he found out that the papers were forged signatures. So that's why Candace fell. So Jim has yet to have a solid victory.
That was his only victory, and he thought he had a victory when he got Catherine into bed. But that turned the tables were turned then too. So I like that he's getting beat down. I wish we could see more of Candace. Because clearly the death of her son has not fazed her enough to make her change. She's still extremely arrogant, and if you ever watch her tone and her facial expressions when she talks to people, even Benny, it's like this girl is so, it's even kind of corny because she's so arrogant, and it doesn't matter what happens, her arrogance never changes.
I agree. It's just like, oh, real quick, Micah, do you miss Amanda? Yeah, I've done a various amount of videos about Amanda and why she was killed off too early. So
yeah.
But yeah,
too. Although you had a crush on Amanda.
Yeah, I know I'm biased. I had a crush on Amanda.
You had a crush on Amanda. Yeah, Amanda and Maggie.
Maggie, Amanda, Jennifer was like, that kind of, I don't know. I just had some. Well, it's coming to America. That's it. That's what it was. That vibe. And let's see, Melissa definitely. And the thing is, I hate it because Melissa blew up because she's starring on that Netflix series Dear White People. So now a lot of people know her more. I'm just like, man, y'all didn't even know when she was the fast talking pregnant girl on the haves and the have-nots. Haters. Let's see here. Let's see. Ever got into physical?
Dominique, I think that was the name.
Yeah, Dominique. What if Catherine and Jim ever got into a physical altercation? Ain't nothing. Jim would just try to seduce her, but she would probably shoot him. But that's it. I really. What was
I
that?
hope she doesn't shoot anyone else.
Oh God, no.
In the very end, I would love to see Jim in prison.
Yeah, death.
Maybe he be killed off.
Death would be too easy. I feel like that would be just way too easy. Prison is like, what? It's like you finally answer for your crimes. Death is just such a quick answer. And like I said before, you had like Warlock and Amanda, Jennifer, so many characters who were killed off, but they still had a lot to offer, in my opinion, both in potential, character development, as well to the story. And I'm still talking about the whole, I wonder if George is going to bring up the fact that Jennifer Salison was doing a private investigation into Amanda's murder. I wonder if that's going to be brought up during the trial. That's what I want to know.
That would be if he finds it in her file cabinet, because remember she had a file hidden in her cabinet because she pulled it out when David was in there. So that would mean that he had gone into her office, and it looks like now he's not in the same office that she was in. So
true. And maybe Dave will bring it up. I don't know. It seems Dave is just it's probably not going to come up because he's too preoccupied with Erica than the fact his son's in jail. And if I'm not mistaken, he doesn't know that Veronica was in an accident yet. So we'll just have to wait and see.
To answer Dominique's other question, I don't think Catherine will go down for the murder. I think if anyone goes down for it, it would be Jim, even though he was still in jail. Maybe that's my hope. I hope he does go down for it, or maybe they can't prove anything at all and it's just a closed case. Kind of like how Maggie Day's murder went, because it seems like everyone's forgotten that Maggie Day was murdered as well. But
yeah, I just hated that.
Played that differently. I hated that too. It's like they're so focused on the DA being murdered, they're not focusing at all on all these other people. That there's like 5 people that were murdered like the week before she was.
I know, right? It's like you had a professor, you had a police officer in the jail, you had one of the inmates in the jail killed. Who was it? Toxic, Terrell, Professor Cannon. Was there anybody else? Professor, officer. I know he was
supposed. And then Maggie.
Oh, well, technically it was a lawyer named Harrington, but then he called it off, and then Veronica called a hit on herself allegedly in order to get mad. That again, I just hate how Maggie got killed off. The fact that not only were you emotionally driven to put that photo in the paper after Landon said, you know, they're going to come after you, right? And then you're going to get on the phone with Veronica.
That whole thing is still unanswered too, because there's never been any proof that Jim actually called it off, and that how in the world did Veronica, flip the script like that, other than the cameras in her house? So Jim,
exactly.
I don't think he ever called it off. I think she just flipped it over, and then Maggie took the bullet for her.
Because it makes no sense, because the man, we saw him get into the house in position during Jim's speech, when everybody was being killed off in like a montage. Candace was getting choked out by Quincy. Hannah was holding Quincy Jr. in the bed at the motel. Then you had, Cannon getting shot. He got shot. You had Terrell killed. You had Toxic stabbed to death. And then you had the guy behind the piano who, again, he stayed in that house for the entire weekend, because remember, they said Jennifer arrested them all on Friday evening, so they couldn't get a phone call for a judge until Monday. So I'm just like, did he make a sandwich? Did he go to the bathroom? What did he do for 48, 72 hours? Just ridiculous.
Right. He just hung out under or behind her piano.
Yeah.
But this DA, if this DA were smart, he would have enough, and Sarah mentioned they have enough for an indictment. I don't know how that is, because they don't even have DNA. But if he were smart, he probably could have, if he would do his homework correctly, he could have enough to indict Jim on all of those murders.
Oh yeah, but it's like he said, we have a testimony from Wyatt, but I still don't think that's going to hold up in court, because he's a recovering addict who literally just got out of the hospital. No legal assistance around when he was talking, so I really don't think that's going to hold up in court. I think that's going to be shot down in a heartbeat.
Absolutely. You can't believe someone that's a known, basically a crackhead like he is.
Exactly. Dominique, I want to see a fight between Candace and Quita. That's going to happen in about the next 2 episodes, I believe, because they say Candace gets out of jail at the same time that David's trying to get Jeffrey out. So I believe next week she might get arrested. And then the week after is when they fight, because in the preview, she's slapping that new prostitute. And again, I can't wait until the beginning of next week's episode, because it's going to be some backstory. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure it's just going to send Candace off the deep end, and she's just going to be, conning people 10 times as harder as before. And that's just going to blow up in her face.
Right.
Like this new.
I hope it blows up in her face, and I don't like Quita, and Quita is just a crackhead. Although I busted out laughing when she was trying at the ATM and they zoom in on her face.
Yeah.
Oscar zooms in on her face when she's. That was actually really funny.
I know, it's like, you're not Wyatt, and she's hitting it and whatnot.
I hope she beats Candace's butt. But
yeah, it's not going to happen based off the preview.
Candace winning. You
yeah.
know?
But I'm wondering, how is she going to get out of jail? If she gets arrested, is she going to be stuck in there or what?
I think Veronica will probably get her out.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting plan.
Not Quita, but Candace.
Yeah.
Because she's going to need Candace to try to carry on with this. I guess she asked Erica for $100,000, and so Veronica's plan is to have David hurt by Erica and broke. So she's going to need Candace's help with that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And Angela Robertson said in that interview, it's like, if the baby doesn't survive the wreck, then she might want to take her own life as well, hinting at a suicide of Veronica. I don't think that's the case. She'll probably just do something even more sinister than before, because that article was only right on several. I lost faith in that article after the whole situation about the car wreck, and then it didn't turn out at all how we thought it would. So I'm kind of like, hesitant in what's going down with that. Oh, Eric says, how is it possible that the prosecutor is doing the case on criers but didn't know the house burnt down? Come on, Tyler Perry, we're not stupid. I don't think that he didn't know. It's just one important detail that hasn't been brought up because Catherine moved everything out, and then I think Veronica or somebody said it's like, well, think about the fibers, you know, the hairs, DNA is everywhere, the chairs, so what are you going to do about that? So my thing is with the pacing of the show.
But she had the furniture moved into storage, which Jim was upset about, remember?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, how long will it take for this freaking case to start? Look how long it took for Jim to actually announce he was running for governor. That was something he decided in like episode 3, and we didn't even see it happen until season 3 technically was when he was supposed to make the announcement, but it didn't actually happen until season 4. Yeah, so
right because the whole series is over a matter of months, which is crazy to me because, like, okay, if you think about the soap opera world or even like nighttime soaps, when they come back for a new season, you know, sometimes it'll say a year later or such and such date, or, you know, it just, you've got to jump ahead. These people are going to be so old looking that you're not going to believe that they're the characters they are. Especially if the show goes on after 2020.
That's my big fear, because we allegedly have about 2 years left and there's just so much to cover. I mean, you look at how much time is covered in let's not even talk about an entire season, but let's just talk about the first half, you know, January through March or mid-April, and then we pick up around summertime, late summer, and end in the fall. And we haven't even, has it been maybe 48 hours or so? Wait, or close to it, I don't know. Terry says Catherine will find love soon. Terry says Catherine will find love soon. No, she won't. Broderick is going to try to con her, but I think Catherine's too smart, but at the same time, she's being very reckless because she's just like, I don't give a F attitude. Just like David is. And
she needs to give an F. You know?
Exactly.
Like, she needs to come back and focus and be who she really is, because if she is on her A game, there's no one that can beat her.
That's my fear, because the whole Candace being desperate because Warlock was on the tail about the $2 million. That's why she signed that paperwork. She glossed over it, but she didn't truly look at it like I know Candace would. So you look at as I said before in the video, David's being stupid because, well, after everything that went down, Veronica, then Maggie was dead. He was just glad to find somebody. Catherine's just relishing in the whole, oh, this is good to rub this in Jim's face. I get their characters and what they're doing. I just don't like how they're being written in those aspects. The rest of their character, like in the rest of their interactions with other people, I enjoy. But in terms of Eric and David and Catherine and Broderick, I think they're being written to be characters that they're not. They're written to be I know I hate to say this about the both of them. They're being written to be dumber than they are.
Right. Do you think that Tyler is possibly writing them this way, even though we don't like it, for them to come out on top in the end and have Veronica and Jim, you know, finally get what they deserve in the end? You know, sometimes heroes are written that way. Do you think, a lot of people think that Erica is falling for David.
Yeah.
I'm still on the fence about that. Do you think it's a possibility that Broderick could end up falling for Catherine too once he gets to know her? And by the way, 2 episodes ago he said he was going to start on his plan. We have not seen anything yet. So 2 episodes later, we've barely seen Catherine, and we haven't seen Broderick again. So it's like, okay, let's get this ball rolling.
If I'm not mistaken, he said that in episode 2. Last week was episode 3. So the thing is, we didn't really have a scene in the hotel, did we? Aside from I don't think we did. Aside from Candace, aside from the very end, Candace at the bar with Rocky, and then you talking about this new woman, the new prostitute, and then at the very end where Hannah and Benny show up. So maybe in the next episode, I don't know. I feel like we're just, again, it's hard to even predict where we're going to be, who's going to be in it, because those episode previews are so misleading. And even in the episode synopsis, we're only getting like 1 or 2 sentences, so we can only speculate, you know, who's going to be in what episode. But I'm going to be honest here, it wouldn't surprise me if we don't see Broderick until maybe next month. I want to be honest.
Right. And I did find him on Instagram, and it looks like he's going to be in 8 or 9 episodes total, and he's only been in like 2, I think.
He was in the first 2 episodes when Jim was trying to get a room. Then in the second episode where he's in the back talking with Rocky about his plot.
And I couldn't confirm. Right, you're right. And I couldn't confirm if he was in season 6. I do know the Rocky guy is in the current season, but I couldn't confirm if he was. I do know that there's like 2 new like guys on, maybe 2 new Malones joining the cast.
Yeah.
That were with Mitch. So that's cool. I like that part. But yeah, I don't think Broderick will get. It'll be interesting to see if he gets any money out of Catherine. I mean, to me, it would have to be like she actually divorces Jim and marries him before he would get any money, and I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, they have these, the whole we need to mark him and then we can get the money. So I'm just like, I kind of understand it with get the credit card, okay, but how is Broderick going to get money out of Catherine? I mean, I don't know. Let's see here.
I do think she needs to find love, though. I just hate how Tyler has written some of the parts of her character. I think she does need to find love and it not be Jim. But at the same time, she and Jim are better together.
Indeed. Oh, Valerie says, why do you think Candace slaps the new prostitute? Oh, it's out of principle. She probably does it to institute this new house rule about paying the house. Again, this is probably going to blow up in her face, and I hope it does.
To the cop.
Yeah.
Isn't that the same prostitute that was talking to the undercover cop?
Yeah. Hey, my name is Leonardo. And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's so lame. And that's why I said that it would be, I don't know, but it would be interesting if Candace's father was a cop, like Leonardo would be the first string, like, the one who's obviously a vice undercover, but then he gets blown off. And then Candace's dad comes in as this suave guy that, would make it seem like he is like a guy looking for a prostitute and then bust them. That would be an interesting twist. I don't think that's the case, but I thought that would be clever writing if it was done that way.
It would be nice if her dad could be a positive outcome for her.
Oh gosh, please.
It's going to make her even more angry and more annoying to watch,
I mean, we don't know if Candace's father knew Hannah was pregnant. We don't. The only time that Candace mentioned her father was when she lied about. This was season 1 when Wyatt and Jeffrey were helping Amanda move into Candace's apartment, and she was like, well, the last time I saw my father, he was in the back of a police car when I was like 5 or 7, and then she pretended to cry to get, just get him out of the apartment. But yeah, this is during Wyatt's whole, like, you got to think for old guys, don't you? And that was pretty much the only time we knew about Candace's father, because every time that Hannah would talk about, where's my grandbaby at? Who's my daddy? That's the only thing we knew about him. Just that sentence of who it was. Let's see here. Candace needs to fall to her knees.
Right,
yeah.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like Candace it'll be interesting to see if she's the one that sets the prostitute up with Jim, or if that's part of Broderick's plan, to have Catherine walk in and catch them.
That would be interesting. Yeah, that would be interesting. I never thought of it that way, because I could see Catherine come to the hotel. Is my husband here? Yes, he's in this room. And then it's like a setup. Then she walks in, but sadly, Broderick doesn't even.
Broderick's gonna call her and tell her to come over to the hotel.
Yeah, and it's like Broderick doesn't even know that Catherine has seen Jim with, or knows of Jim's multiple women. So this isn't a surprise, because I love Jim's face when Catherine walks in. Like, the girl's like, "Oh my God," and Jim's like, "Oh, I can't believe this."
Right. Yeah, Broderick doesn't know how the marriage has been over for years. He probably because he said, anyone married to a prick like that has to be unhappy. Well, he obviously thinks that there's love there and that they're just having some problems for the first time right now. So Broderick doesn't even know the whole story about them at all.
Exactly.
Which is another interesting thing, because I think that Jim may fight for her.
Yeah, it's like I predicted. It's like it's a common trope in a lot of shows and movies, like the dirtbag in the relationship who's always a cheater, who either mistreats their significant other. When they're on the verge of breaking up or whatever, it's like, we're taking a break, or I'm going my way, you go this way. They notice in this case, Jim will notice Catherine with somebody else and be happy and whatnot, but he can see the guy for who he truly is. However, Catherine can. It's like, oh, you're just jealous. And either Jim's going to be the white knight and saves her at the 11th hour, or Catherine's going to get, swindled. And Jim's like, well, I tried to tell you. but at the same time, you can see
Yeah.
why
I don't
Catherine
think
wouldn't
she'll
believe
get
him.
swindled.
Yeah.
I don't think she'll get swindled because she's too smart for that, and there's a reason why she's has worth $250 million.
But the fact that she doesn't care, that's the thing I'm worried about, though. Because she doesn't.
Right.
The only thing
Right.
she cares about is
Right. And
Hannah.
I think regardless of if he finds out the truth about Broderick or not, I think he's still going to be jealous either way.
Oh,
He's
definitely.
still going to try to get back at Broderick or try to break them up or something. But I do want to see. It would be nice to see her with someone else for a little while, for her and to piss Jim off. It's so funny. It's fun to see him like try to go after something he really wants.
Indeed. It's just
that
like
he doesn't get.
it's just like I don't want to see her with Broderick because we know it's a sham. It's just like, man, for the first time in a long time, we see Catherine happy with a man, but then it's just going to blow up in her face because she's being conned. Don't know if it's going to succeed or not, but she's being conned. But I just can't wait
Right,
to
it's
see.
like, I don't want her. It's like I don't want her, but I don't want anyone else to have her either.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like Veronica, you know, like the whole sleeping with Benny to make David jealous when he hadn't slept with anybody. And it's just going to oh, one sec. Oh, what was I about to say? I was thinking that when it comes down to it, I think that I'm interested in the whole Jim meeting Erica just to see how that plays out. If they really met each other, do they have history or whatever the case may be. And it will be funny because I think that like David and Catherine will end up seeing Broderick and Erica for who they really are when they encounter other people. Like if Oscar gets to do a background check on Erica, because not even that, he could just look at Erica and be like, hey, I know this girl because she tried to come on to me at that restaurant when I was on a date. And then you look at Broderick, it looks like Jim will be the one to bust him. I just want to see how that plays out, though.
Right. Or the hotel gets busted because there's already a undercover cop there trying, obviously that goofy guy that was trying to talk to Candace. So maybe they're kind of working on a case to bust them, and then she finds out that Broderick was running a prostitution ring.
Exactly. And let's see what else we have here. Wow, we covered it's almost been 50 minutes. Wow, okay. I'm just seeing if there's anything else we're missing. But for one, I'm glad that this whole rerouting thing worked because everybody says that they can hear us well. And are there any final thoughts? Because we can end this live stream and then do another one if you want, talking about the acting on If Loving You Is Wrong compared to the haves and the have-nots.
Okay. All right. I'm in.
Okay, well, guys, we're going to stop this live stream now. We're going to pick up within the net. What time? 6:58. Let's give it about 7:05. Let me get set up for the second live stream, get some water, and we'll be right back.
All right.